Yes. All right.
Work. Oh, yes. Hey, Step Music. I'm so excited to be here. This is what the region needs. Music, local talent, festival, conference. So first, let me give a shout out to the organizers of Step Conference and Step Music Conference, and of course, Anghami. So please, shout out. Okay, so the first panel for Step Music is all about regional artists. It's all about festivals in the region. It's all about building a grassroots Middle East scene. So the first artist, or used to be artist, and jumped into the business, into the music. Please welcome me from Bahrain, founder of Musicland Records, Ali Saeed. Second, from Egypt, co-founder and manager of Al Muharrik booking agency. Please welcome Bassem Bouarab. He's from England and residing here in Dubai. Co-founder, or founder actually, sorry, of Go Play the World. Please welcome Abu. All the way from Jordan, founder of Balafish. Please welcome Hana Malhaz.
I get my own seat, it's nice. Just want to get closer.
Okay. First, thank you guys for coming to Dubai and to Step Music Conference. It's for me, it's a great honor to be in this panel and moderating this panel with you all. We have very short time to actually talk about millions of things, so let's see how it goes. First of all, I would like to shed light on something that we're facing nowadays in the music industry here in the region, which is networking. So we all started at somewhere. We had a lot of trouble getting where we are now, and it was because of the lack of networking and knowing people in the region and in your countries. So this question goes to Ali. Ali, please tell me what's the advantage of having a network or connections with people, and what does it affect the is it effective with the industries nowadays?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, the perfect example is us here sitting right there. I mean, if you look at what we do, each individual here covers an important aspect of what the music industry needs, and all we really need is to kind of bring more of that to the fore and really create a platform where we all can network together, not just in our individual communities and countries, but across countries, and make it more of a regional movement, because all of the elements are there, and I'm sure that what individually we do kind of complements each other in a really great and constructive way. And it's just a matter of strengthening that and seeing the benefits of it, because sometimes it's more difficult to kind of, when you're in your own kind of circle and community, to see the benefits of how that can bring all of us together.
All right, Hannah, in your part of the world or the industry that you
As if I'm an alien.
because Ali works in the environment where it's a record label and all that, and you do something totally different. Is networking in your field as important as a label, for example?
Okay, yes, but I like to think of it as collaboration, not networking, actually. And I think it helps when artists step into the role of organizers, promoters, managers, because of the experience they've had. And I think that in my case, when I started Balafish, it really wouldn't have wouldn't have grown if there wasn't that nice and really collaborative spirit between artists, because a lot of the artists that played the first few shows that we had when we were first starting did it for the spirit of collaboration, for the new idea, just to see where it goes. And one of the very first collaborations was actually with Iqa, our second show,
Nice.
hosted Tamer Abu Ghazali and Mariam Saleh. And at the time, Tamer and I didn't know each other, but I called him up and I said, hey, there's this idea, what do you think? And he didn't say, you're crazy, no. He said, let's see how it goes. And I think that happens when artists are in the role of organizers.
I think that's one of the, sorry, I'm just jumping in, is that right?
Please.
I think that's one of the points that's difficult to, because we're talking with a lot of grassroots people and trying to get new people on board. It's trying to give them the understanding that that is necessary. And a lot of people, they want to be rock and roll stars, they want to do their thing, and they're quite within their own little bubble. There's a lot of nerves that go on with a lot of people as well, and they're not used to being on stage, or they're not used to doing what they're doing. So they're quite, some people are quite insular and stay, but with all us artists together getting into the other aspects of music, just supporting them through that will make them understand. Because I'm not very good at networking when I go to a networking event and somebody says, right, you've got to network with everybody. But if I'm just sitting chatting to people, I never shut up, so I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, just go have a coffee and have a drink.
Yeah, right.
That
yeah.
works.
It's all about
Seriously,
just But if you say, right, you got a network, it's like, wow, I can't do that. But if I'm just sitting down having a cup of coffee with somebody and talking about ideas, it makes it much easier. Yeah.
I think it's more of a, like we were saying earlier, it's more of a coming together of having these pockets, are kind of like working together instead of just not networking.
But I think
and supporting as well.
I think with new people, they don't. Unless you show them sometimes an end result, that's what it's worth doing. They're gonna, if they're a band, they're just gonna be their band in their tight unit, and they don't realize that it's everybody else outside of that circle as well is going to help them push forward, as well as the audience members that are supporting their music as well.
I think whether we like it or not, whatever we do is this is how it started, networking. Whether we're talking about it or not, you knew someone that introduced you to another person. Also in my world, when I want to, also in your world as a booking agent, if you want to, book a tour or festivals, you need to know someone to be actually doing that, or else we're not gonna.
Because going virtually through online and stuff doesn't really always work and give you the same result. A lot of people have to see you and you get in touch with you in a more personal and human way to give more trust and confidence, and so you can gain the credits for work.
Yeah.
Beside working with all the relevant elements, like working professionally, of course.
Yeah.
But this is how usually it works. Like, it's really efficient to get in touch.
Which brings us to my second, not question, topic, which is as let's say all of us, organizers, booking agents, managers, platform creators, all that, we lack resources here in the region a lot. Like
Tell me about it.
Yeah, there's no base to build something on. That's why we exist, and other people as well, of course.
I don't think that's true though. I think we do have the resources. It's just a matter of really capitalizing on them, and like us, like what Abu's doing and what you're doing, we're making that happen. It's a question of and that you get that a lot in the music industry. It's just like we're putting our output and expecting something in return, whereas we have to kind of do it.
Don't expect anything in return just yet for a while.
So yeah, it's somewhat like that way.
I actually agree with Ali. I think there are plenty of resources out there, and this isn't testament to that, but it is a matter of maybe convincing everyone else of the value of what we can bring to the table. That's one. But two, what I'm noticing from this panel especially is that this panel and others that we work with, a lot of us are doing the same things in our own circles. And that's fantastic, because that's step number one. But the second step is going to be harder, which is how do we take it to the next level and not recreate the wheel, work together to get something bigger and more effective happening.
We were talking about that earlier when you were saying I didn't know what you did, to be fair. Please forgive me. But as soon as you started, as soon as you started saying, I was like, instantly I was like, we need to have a talk about this and that, and I think from this as well, all you people out there as well, just talk about what you do and stuff, and I think coming from just this, I think we're going to be able to move things forward and collaborate from that. But I think I think one of the lessons, I think, especially if we're trying to build a grassroots element of what we're doing, like I love what I do, right? And I really enjoy doing what I'm doing. It's not how I started in the music business or not how I started wanting to do music, but I think one of the lessons we got to take from all this, like the guys you saw on the panel there, irrespective of all the problems we got to try and the hoops we have to jump through, those guys are going to do it anyway, right? So if anybody's trying to get into music, like I'm going to do this anyway. So if anybody's into music, you're going to come up with so many problems and so many issues, but if you're determined to do it, all right, you might not end up at the your dream goal you started at, but you're still going to kind of get there, like, you know?
I think if you look at, again, the kind of the situation we're in, we're all in a way a product of our own situation. We kind of start in a way doing something and then realize that situation is leading us to realize that there are gaps or little needs in other areas that we weren't aware of or didn't really necessarily start with, and we had to adapt to that. And it's just a matter of like having that mentality and that culture spread out to the other parts as well in the industry that makes it more and more solid.
Right, right.
Label versus booking agencies.
Fight.
No.
Not at all.
Just kidding,
Not at all
just
true.
It's actually a cool.
It's not a competition.
No,
It's not a
it's
competition.
not. But I mean, not versus. I mean, booking agencies and labels. What are the struggles you go through to either build a name for an artist, book an artist, promote, distribute, you know, all the standard stuff to develop an artist? What are the first step into the struggle world?
Since I'm depending on the production, you start.
No, I mean, the main point is because you're trying to kind of build a culture of the new kind of embracing, hate using the word local, but bands that are based in your own communities to really push them and give them the platform. It's very difficult to establish that and create the familiarity of the music enthusiasts who are seeking live music to get familiar with that artist, their music, and embrace it regardless of if they're not familiar with it. And I think this is a key thing when it comes to the culture of gigging in general and the music in general, is that maybe when people are not familiar with it, they're less inclined to experience it. That's, I think, is one of the, I don't know if it's the same with the other guys, but I think that's what, for example, Abu is doing, keeping more and more artists coming on stage and performing to audiences to get them more familiar with it.
On that note, just going back to what you were saying before, I've banned the word local from my advertisings and stuff, and exposure, the word exposure. So
Yeah.
if you're into doing any music with people and stuff like that, don't use the word exposure and local, and I think we're on the right track.
I had a feeling he's gonna mention that. I swear, based on the talks that we had previously.
So, yeah. So right after you produce your product, your musical product, maybe it comes to me at the end and say, I go like, no, it's not gonna sell. You know, it happens when you the music production is at the end it's a product that could go well in a specific market when it goes, and it might go like totally different. When it goes abroad. So I usually have this struggle when the local bands, and also I don't like to use the same word. Like let's say if a band from Egypt who is like really popular and really well known, but they don't really they are not really aware about how are they reaching the foreigners or the foreign market. So they might think that they have the same popularity and fame abroad, but it's not true, because because they are like targeting a totally different market. So it takes time to convince them that they will need more time to develop and work on their objective and mission so they can reach the other.
So when you're faced with that, how do you position it? How do you approach it? Is it a matter of talking to the venues or people or the artists?
From my current position, I don't really have anything to do but giving just a note. I don't really like control the musical content, because personally I hate this.
Do you do it sometimes, like you have to be on ground and doing from
Of course,
scratch?
I have to be realistic before I go for an actual work. And say that, okay, you're just doing great music, but it's not going to work in this area that you're targeting through me. So I have nothing to do with this.
Basically, in the world of agencies and managers, it's usually when you book something or you tour with a band or something, you do it from the office, from home. But here, I see it in the region, it's like do it yourself kind of.
Yeah, I think we've all of us like been there.
Yeah.
Is you know, speaking of the lack of.
Is it still till now, even after the years that you like?
Hopefully, I'm telling you about that. Hopefully, we're gonna be two.
Okay.
By this year. Yeah, since like 4 years I've been working alone.
Okay.
But yeah, you have to do it. And actually, when a lot of people have told you about this one, and whenever they ask like, why are you doing this, and they might expect like some deep, detailed answers, but the answer is simple, but because like someone has to do it. So I do this.
I same question to the online offline community. What struggles you go through to actually? I'm not gonna use the word exposure in Hannah's case. I'm not using it. I'm not using it. But you do this to support local talents from the region, and so the struggles of building Balafish. How did that go? And Abu, of course, the offline of Go Play the World. How?
Okay, so I think I can only speak to this from the perspective of an artist because I go through the process of creating and producing music and trying to put it out there, and then as a promoter to expose and grow artists through the Balafish platform. Struggles. Do we have to talk about struggles? Let's talk about opportunities.
I'm with you on that.
We're not talking about actually the negative side of that. We're talking like let's find solution kind of topic on how to fix it.
Okay, so one of the things that one of the very easy things to do really is to collaborate. So if you have festivals in the region, or if you have managers working on a very clear tour schedule for their artists, what you can do is work within that, right? So you work together. As Balafish, I'm a small promoter. I can partner with a bigger festival, offer them something unique. Their artists are coming in to play big shows, festival stages, different sound, right? If you add on the Balafish aspect, you get an intimate show and you get online content that we don't have enough of our regional and local artists. I don't mind using the word local, actually. I think it's great. I think it's great to find out what content is being created in the Arab world and to put that out online. So partnering with each other is one way to do it. Convincing people who have funds, whether it's brands or grants or maybe bigger labels or whatever it is, you want to convince them of the value of bringing this to light, to listeners. Fans exist for these artists, but they can be so much bigger if they just have the right exposure. So this conference, you have the next panel is going to have Universal on there, and Rami is supporting this. These are big players in the region. That's fantastic. It means that it's bringing exposure already to what we're trying to bring exposure to through the grassroots, right? So that's one way. But I think what maybe the element we're missing is how to make this international. That's really, I believe we can do that. We can go global. There's so many opportunities for exchange, for bringing light to what we're doing here, and at the same time bringing musicians. And I think Beirut Jam Sessions is one great model of that, right? They combine international artists with local artists. Yeah. That's a very cool initiative. So again, if we put ourselves together as one big grassroots initiative, since now we've done all this groundwork and it's gotten us somewhere, the next step is come together, figure out how to make it bigger.
Just needs time. Yeah. Just needs time.
Yeah.
Just be patient.
Yeah. Okay. Abu,
I could talk about this for hours, right?
Okay, Abu,
yes,
we
can.
only have 6 minutes. just saying.
Okay.
Because I still have one last question.
Right. Just quickly, I don't consider it a struggle. We're brand new, right? So everything. I say brand new. Everything is a challenge, and it's always going to be a challenge anyway, no matter what you do. But I think what we've got is the way we've been working things. Everywhere else in the world, musicians, music, record company, everyone's in competition. There's kind of 3 grassroots people here. We do, Go Play the World. You've got Freshly Ground Sounds, and then you've got Soundgarden. And as much as whatever other people think, we're collaborating really well together. And everybody's providing an amazing platform. Everybody's providing great sound. They're providing an audience. And I think one of the biggest struggles is letting some of the people know. We've put on events where the local people have come, and they've watched it and said, where did you fly these people in? And they're like, no, they're here. They live here. And honestly, they were... mind blown. They didn't understand. What? These people are in this city? Yeah, they're playing all the time. And all these guys are providing so much for the musicians. I think one of the struggles is letting the musicians realize how good they've got it here in a sense, especially at the low level that we're at, or low, that's not the word I wanted to use, but the beginning, the starting level. And the nurturing aspect that's here, I've never seen anywhere else in the world. So for me, I don't consider it's a challenge, there's lots of challenges, but I don't see a struggle.
I know exactly what you mean, because I went through the same thing in Abu Dhabi. When I was living there, it's...
White Cube, sorry, I should have mentioned White Cube and Metronome as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So when I was with White Cube, and we this company did a lot for Abu Dhabi and the artists in Abu Dhabi, and yeah, it's like everyone used to ask us, are they like, where did you get them from? They live here. They're your neighbors. So yeah, we're here because labels usually, or record labels in general, they're interested in a bigger market than what they have in the local market. And do you think it's known that labels now are not doing as they supposed to do, or they're not able to do it because the market,
I don't think anyone knows right now, right? In the way it's going, no one knows what the right answer is.
Exactly.
Right?
So it's because the market is shifting even from abroad to the region. So do you think from now till 5 years in front, when labels, let's say, don't exist, you step forward and run the scene?
I think we're always going to push forward. For me, I'll be quick on this. For me, the way I see it is you've got the old school people that are still trying to stay in the music the way that they used to do it. And then you've got the new guys coming in, doing it there. Everyone's doing such a unique way of doing, promoting their music, getting the music out there. So I think personally it's going to take maybe another 5 years or so before the old school people I retire and go on my little desert island somewhere. Okay. And then everyone else that's got new, fresh ideas are going to come in. Then it's going to find a balance. Right now, I don't think I was saying there before back in 2002 when the age of the internet kicked off, the record companies didn't embrace it, and it really made a massive impact on them. Yeah. Now everyone's trying to embrace everything, and nobody really knows what the answer is. No. It's never too late. Everyone's always going to make great music. It's just it's just trying to find that opportunity to get the right. I've seen the time countdown. I'm going to stop. Somebody else.
Okay.
I think just to build on that, I think that's the most exciting thing about the music scene in general, is that it's constantly evolving, and labels are there for whatever reason. But as long as platforms or organizations or initiatives, we don't limit ourselves to one specific approach, and we realize that with music, it is constantly changing, from technology to the way that people consume the product to the culture as well, then that's how we can adapt to those changes and really provide what we feel as providers or suppliers is a great music for the people, and the other vice versa. I don't know if you want to.
I don't think it's an either or, right? Because you've got independent labels here and other people that we know that are growing and that will be major players, because the more independent records you have in the industry, the healthier it is. And then for the major labels, I think it's either an adapt strategy, adapt or fall behind. So, and I think some are actually turning towards different models. I mean, prime example is what's happening with Universal with some of the indie artists. You either adapt and have different models, and there will be ways to work together, or you stay on the old model and then you become sort of obsolete. So I think the more players there are in the region, the healthier.
Well, we still have 1 minute.
There's this heartbeat sound that's happening.
Yeah, can you hear that? Yeah, I thought
it's only for us. Like
it's like this countdown.
Okay. Yeah. Well, for me, it's pleasure being with you all. You are great minds, and this is what the Middle Eastern scene needs to actually grow and take this music, whether to the whole region or take it outside the region. And I believe personally that the talent in the Middle East is way bigger than a lot of places, the Western Asia and all that. It just needs that little push, and we're obviously seeing it all, through the big names now in the market, and they're being booked heavily outside just for the Western to know and feel what is the Arab world is all about.
But you're not going to be able to. you say that. I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. But until it gets to that stage, until you finish building the building, no one's going to come and watch it, right? Do you know, or come and have a look at it. So until you can go back and go, look, see, 5, 10 years time, told you it would be like that. Oh yeah, okay. It's trying to inspire people into that, I think.
Okay. So thank you guys, and
thank you
all for watching, of course.